welcome to the Duder and Jimmy Hour, broadcasting from our new and improved studio. Today's topics include the Olympics, the upcoming election, of course, what Jimmy and Duder have eaten, welcoming our new field reporter, Dave Ellett, and now your hosts, Duder and Jimmy.
And we're back on another episode 9 of the Duder and Jimmy Hour. It's been a long hiatus. It's been nearly a year since our last show, but we have this loyal, dedicated fan base that's been emailing us, begging us to get back on the air. Thank you. That's our studio audience.
Yes, the studio audience. Very nice.
In good form today. And Duder, good to see you. Good to have you on the show.
Good to see you too. Happy to be here in our brand new studio. Thankfully, we got so many high-paying sponsors we could build a brand new studio, so we're really excited about that. Ready to kick off another great episode here for all of our fans.
And we're going to get right into it now with the Olympics. Duder.
Yes.
It's been a great Olympics.
Yes, indeed it has.
U.S. dominated, kicked everyone's butt.
As we should.
As we should. Duder, what was your favorite Olympic event?
My favorite Olympic event, I would have to say the basketball, because it's just fun to watch USA really just beat everybody really badly.
Yeah, well, those Lithuanians gave us a scare, but
they did, but we got over them. I mean, nobody expected that, but it's all right. America came through. The final medal count was 104 total medals for the United States, with China being in second with 87. So it's pretty safe to say that America is still and always will be the greatest nation on earth.
I could not agree more. Duder, you're exactly
Sounds
right.
good.
Those Russians had a few medals too.
The Russians had 82 total medals, yeah, with 24 golds, and they're still in third. So once again, capitalism ruled over communism, as it always will.
Forevermore. I enjoyed the swimming as well.
Swimming was excellent. Yes, I mean America's. We're pretty stacked in the swimming front there. So it's always fun to watch them, especially some of the female swimmers were big surprises.
Yeah, Missy Franklin was really fun to watch.
Oh,
and
yes.
Our entire team was just really awesome.
I think it's safe to say we'll be winning Olympics swimming for many Olympics to come.
Yeah, the U.S. kind of has a little bit of a dynasty going with Michael Phelps, and we're just killing everybody.
He's done now, so we'll see who's going to take the torch.
Yeah, that'll be interesting to find out at the next Olympics.
Indeed it will. Indeed.
And the Winter Olympics are coming up, so.
Oh yeah, can't wait.
The Olympics.
USA hockey going.
Oh yeah. So, as you know, Duder, the election has been pretty nasty so far.
Yes.
But we've got Republicans, Mitt Romney and Paul Ryan against Barack Obama and Joe Biden. And I just was curious on what your thoughts were on how the election has shaped up so far, and VP picked Paul Ryan.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's been a very interesting election cycle thus far. I think Paul Ryan was a perfect choice because he's a finance guy, he's smart with money, and his pick, he is very, very conservative, and this draws a clear line between the Obama campaign and the Romney campaign, two very different ideas and directions for the country. And I think it's safe to say over the past 3 years, Obama's way is not the way we want to be going, so it's time to make a switch.
Absolutely.
Wait a minute. That's the smartest thing I've ever heard anyone say about anything.
Yeah. Peter Griffin is here in the studio today. And he's got his own political objectives, but it's you're absolutely right. I think Paul Ryan is a great pick, and he's got that. It's amazing that he could be such a strong conservative voice within the House of Representatives that he would actually be selected.
Yes, and that there's a lot of people that criticize him and say, oh, well, Romney picked somebody from the House, not the Senate, which is very unusual. But I think it doesn't matter. You have to judge a person by the character and what they have done and their beliefs and their work ethic, and I think Paul Ryan, based on those, is the ideal candidate. He's also known for writing the Ryan budget. He wrote a national budget, which is not easy to do, and that alone makes me feel confident that he can get our financial situation under control, which in my opinion is the number one thing that is that's facing our country right now that we need to handle, is the economics and finances.
A lot of critics are saying that Ryan's budget may just be a little bit too extreme. How would you respond to that?
I think that's entirely false. I think that with a country we're $15 trillion in debt, we need to start making massive cuts. And that is what Ryan's budget does, is it does make massive cuts to a lot of government-funded programs, but bottom line is you shouldn't be spending money you don't have.
So you're saying that the deficit is more extreme than the budget?
I honestly, yes. I think that the national debt is the number one problem with our country right now, and that should be the first thing we need to address.
I couldn't agree more, Duder.
Yep.
And how would you respond to Barack Obama's rebuttal to the Paul Ryan budget and the Mitt Romney ticket?
Oh, well, I mean, Barack Obama's going to try to paint him as just an inexperienced House member that's a radical extremist that wants to make all kinds of government cuts. And that's not the case at all. I mean, talk about inexperience. Barack Obama was only a junior senator when he was elected. Mm-hmm. So I think there's nothing to say about that. And that with the Ryan budget, it's what we need right now. It might not be what we want. Nobody wants to make cuts, but it's what we need.
You're absolutely right, Duder. Fun. And what I like about Paul Ryan is that he has kind of ground in Ohio and in Wisconsin.
Yes, very much
He's
so.
a graduate of Miami University in Ohio, and his home state of Wisconsin really gives him a lot of support. He actually collected 66% of the vote.
Yes.
In the latest election, where Barack Obama, he actually got in again, but in the election against Barack Obama, he collected 66% of the vote.
Of course.
And Barack Obama got like 50-something% of the vote. So I thought that was really cool that he has a lot of bipartisan support, which shows that he's a versatile candidate. So.
Yeah, definitely. A lot of people like him. I think it's a great pick for Mitt Romney because, one, Mitt Romney's been having a lot of trouble connecting with the middle class. The Obama campaign has done a very good job of painting Mitt Romney as some super rich billionaire that's out of touch with reality, which personally I don't think that's a bad thing, but a lot of people do. Where Paul Ryan grew up very blue-collar family, working class family, and that's where he grew up, and he's very much a middle class guy that can connect with those people, and it very much helps it puts an end to the Obama campaign's claims that their campaign is out of touch with most of America.
Well, if Paul Ryan's influence is what we hope it is, and as we are a conservative news outlet here on the Duder and Jimmy Hour, hopefully we'll see a victory in Ohio and Wisconsin. And Florida's looking pretty good too.
Yes, I'd say so. If I had to give a prediction right now, I think that Romney will absolutely win the election. I just think with the way our country is and the current economic state, I don't think anybody wants to continue down this path. I mean, I don't think anybody can sit and look at our country's financial situation and say we've improved over the last 3 years of Obama.
Yeah, that's a strong point and a good argument, Duder. You've been on the show for a very long time, but we haven't really heard much from you. You've been busy working on a couple of campaigns, and maybe you could give us an update on your own life and what you've been doing.
Yeah, I've been out for a while. A lot of stuff's been happening. I was going to school, and I've been working on a lot of campaigns around Ohio. I've been working for a state rep candidate. I'm working on a congressional campaign. Been doing a lot of work for the Romney campaign in Ohio. So staying very involved in politics. I'm trying to register as many conservatives to vote as possible. I've also been working with a few super PACs, Americans for Prosperity, which is a conservative group dedicated to making Barack Obama a one-term president. So I've been really involved in that. And then just recently started UT Rocket Marching Band camp. So that's been my life pretty much is what I've been doing, working on campaigns and doing band.
Oh, that's pretty interesting.
Yeah.
Sounds like your life is really jump-starting and you're having a good time too.
Oh, I'm loving it. What about you, Jimmy? What have you been up to?
Oh, I've been around, so we don't need an update. You'll take it. So now we're going to go live to our new field reporter, Dave Ellett.
Thanks, Jim. This is good to be here. It's really hot, though. I don't know exactly what's going on, but I'm going to get to the bottom of it, do the hard-hitting reporting, and bring it to our listeners here.
What'd you have to eat today, Dave?
I had the volcano taco from Taco Bell recently. It was quite delicious and pretty spicy too.
What? So what else is going on?
I got a couple days off here, so I can do some field reporting for the Duder and Jimmy Hour. Got done with my job in Chicago, and now I'm going back to school in a couple days. I'm going to start my own band camp, just as Duder is.
Well, we're glad to have you on the show, Dave. It's good to see you, and it's good to hear from you. I just have a quick question. Do you know that there is a massive flaming volcano behind you right now?
There you go, folks. There's a giant flaming volcano erupting. And that is the hard-hitting report that I am bringing you. Back to you guys.
All right, Dave.
All right, well, thanks for joining us, Dave.
We'll see you.
Thanks.
And now we're going to go on to our second portion of the show. It's our favorite one. And we're going to talk a little bit about sports in our segment, Duder Does Detroit. Duder,
yes.
What are your thoughts?
Lots of stuff been happening with Detroit sports. As you know, I'm a Detroit sports fan. Red Wings, it's been in the offseason, so nothing really to update besides Nicholas Lidstrom, the captain for many years, and the greatest defenseman in the league has retired. So we're going to see who can fill his shoes defensively on the team. And another update, the Red Wings have drafted a goalie, Jonas Gustavsson, nicknamed the Monster, from Toronto. He's a very large man. He's 6'3" and over 200 pounds, and very excited to have a big guy between the pipes there to stop the pucks. And I'm excited for the season.
Yeah, well, you're the Red Wings fan, so it's good to hear your optimism.
Yes, indeed. I think it's going to be a great one.
And have you been looking at the Lions or the Tigers?
Yeah. The Lions have got high hopes. They had a great season last year. I'd imagine they're going to go uphill. Now, I know they lost their first preseason game to the Browns, which is not a good start, but it is just the preseason, so not too nervous yet. We'll see how it goes, but I'm expecting big things from the Lions as long as Stafford can stay healthy.
That was a problem.
That was a big problem, yeah. So as long as he can stay healthy, I think we'll be fine.
Okay, I enjoyed that optimism too, Duder, and
Thanks, Jimmy.
it's always good to see those hometown teams doing well.
Oh, yes.
As you know, I'm a bit of a Reds fan.
Of course.
And the Reds have been...
I don't mind the Reds, yeah.
Yeah, the Reds are pretty cool. They've been absolutely dominating their division, and it's really cool to see. They actually have the second best record in baseball, too.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, the Washington Nationals are first, and they've got Steven Strasburg in that.
He's quite talented.
Man, oh man. But the Reds, second best, I'm hoping to see some deep playoff penetration. Of course, we're all worried about the absence of Joey Votto.
Obviously.
He's been gone for coming up on a month now with his torn cartilage, and he actually was doing some sliding drills preparing to come back, and all of a sudden, they found a piece of floating cartilage in his knee.
That's not what you want.
Right, that's not what you want. So when you have a floating piece of cartilage in your knee, that's going to mess with your form.
Yes.
And so they estimate another 10 days. So hopefully we can hold that lead, and we'll see the Reds into the playoffs this year.
Yeah, that's what happens in sports. Sometimes somebody else has to step up and fill the shoes, and I'm sure they'll be fine.
That's exactly what happened. Everyone has stepped up, and the Reds have continued to dominate. We had a really huge winning streak. It was almost 20 games.
Wow,
so,
that is impressive.
Yeah, it was definitely really cool. So now that we have finished our sports segment, we're going to talk a little bit about movies.
Of course.
You're the movie guy around here.
I do enjoy movies from time to time.
What movie have you seen?
The last movie I saw was The Watch with Vince Vaughn and Ben Stiller, and it was decently funny. It wasn't the best movie I've ever seen, but it was a good laugh. Lots of very funny parts in it. It was pretty much your typical goofy comedy, Ben Stiller kind of comedy, Vince Vaughn. It did surprise me. It was much more R-rated than I was expecting. I watched the trailers, and I thought it kind of looked more aimed towards younger audience, but watching the movie, it's very much an R-rated. Not so much for the family, but it's still funny if you are of age. I'd recommend it. It's a good laugh.
What do you rate it, Duder? What do you give it?
I'd give it a solid 6.5 out of 10.
I'll take it.
All right.
Good. So that was a good movie segment.
Yeah, I'd say so.
We're not the most knowledgeable movie folks.
Have you seen any movies lately, or?
I can't remember. I thought The Avengers was pretty good.
Avengers was good. I mean, that's a solid assessment.
Everyone's seen that movie.
If you don't like The Avengers, then just go.
You might as well. You probably don't like bacon either.
Yeah, then just go join Al Qaeda if you don't like The Avengers. So.
Yeah, couldn't agree more. They got Captain America in there.
Exactly.
Completely dominated everybody.
Thank you, Gibby.
Yeah, I love to get in the patriotic spirit here on the Duder and Jimmy Hour. We are going to go to a break now. Sonny Caesar is going to give us a little bit of weather, and we're going to catch you guys later here on the Duder and Jimmy Hour.
Well, guys, before I do the weather, did you guys want to talk about toupee or not toupee?
Oh, well, if you insist, Sonny Caesar.
If you insist.
He was fighting back tears during that request.
I see, yeah.
He masks it well with his conversation, but he's clearly distressed. We better talk about our toupees.
I guess we don't want to upset Sonny Caesar, so I guess we're going to do our toupee or not toupee segment.
Toupee or not toupee. Now, as the listeners know, we have nice hair.
Well, we got pretty good hair going.
Our hair is good.
Our hair is good.
But some of these celebrities and pop culture figures, well, we don't know. We have some toupee suspects, and we recently came across a website called Toupee or Not Toupee, and so we're going to look at some of our favorite toupee candidates, and we're going to decide if they have a toupee or if they do not.
For all, based on our assessment.
So who are we looking at? Bob Costas? Yeah, Bob Costas. He was involved a lot in the Olympic coverage.
Yeah, we saw him almost every day on the TV there.
And man, oh man, his hair looks good.
You know what I say though?
Toupee?
Toupee.
Oh man, dude.
If I had to guess, I would say that Bob Costas is rocking a toupee.
His hair looks good, but it's almost like it's just a really expensive, sophisticated, fake hair.
Like a shell that is popped on.
Right.
And he's actually like Bruce Willis bald underneath or something like that.
Yeah.
Maybe that's what I'm thinking. I don't know. There's really no way to tell unless we would run into him one day and try yanking at it. But I think that for the most part, it's safe to say that if I had to bet one way or the other, I would bet toupee. If I had to. Gun to my head, I'd bet toupee.
Man, oh man, dude, those are strong words.
You know?
But I mean, when these guys got fake hair, you just got to talk about it.
You got to talk about it.
Who else are we looking at? Any other toupee candidates out there?
Well, right now I'm looking at John Travolta.
Oh.
And you can see clearly that the hair is connected to a fabric that is not part of his skin. I mean, I'm just saying it looks pretty good, but I have my doubts.
Well, our studio analyst here has determined that John Travolta does indeed wear a toupee. That surprises me. I would have guessed. I have not seen the picture that our analyst has seen, but if I had to guess from what I've seen in movies, he does not have a toupee, if I had to guess. But I don't know. What do you think about Travolta?
Well, you bring up some good points, but I do remember an instance a few years ago when he appeared at one event completely bald, and then he was in a situation where he had to have hair at an event the very next day, you know, with the pressures of Hollywood and so forth. And so he must have had a toupee because
Well,
at that appearance, right? But Duder, the question is, does he wear a toupee frequently due to his actor dexterity and the dexterity that's required by Hollywood, or is the toupee that we know that John Travolta has actually a product of a lack of hair or male pattern bald?
All right, and the next one we got up on the screen is Brendan Fraser. Do we think Brendan Fraser is wearing a toupee?
Oh man!
We're seeing photos now from our studio analyst here, and according to these photos, now they could be doctored, but according to these photos, it's pretty safe to say that he is absolutely wearing a toupee.
That is brutal.
I mean,
man.
that's pretty
suspected.
conclusive. Me neither. I mean, the mummy, he's running around killing mummies. His hair is doing great.
All right, so Brendan Fraser has pretty decent.
According to that, we
toupee
have not
action.
fact-checked these photos. They could have been doctored, but according to these photos, Brendan Fraser is wearing a toupee, and that's pretty conclusive.
Our listeners love toupee or not toupee.
They love it.
It's one of their favorite segments. Oh, come on.
We'll close with a favorite. Donald Trump. I think it's pretty safe to say that he absolutely is wearing a toupee. I feel like that's not even a secret.
Without a doubt. I think everyone knows.
Yeah.
So it's not really like toupee or not toupee.
And it says toupee.
Toupee.
And that's it.
Donald Trump's a good guy, but
he's a good guy.
He's a little off base on that hair.
If you have that much money, then you can pretty much do whatever you want. So
here's my question, though, Duder.
What's that?
Since he has so much money, why wouldn't he invest in a more, I don't know, a better toupee? Why wouldn't he have a better toupee? His hair is so obviously fake, but he has so much money. I just can't put two and two together on this one.
Maybe he has so much money because he saves it all by not buying expensive toupees.
A word of wisdom from Duder.
There you go.
Maybe he's just a hair miser.
Maybe.
Okay, so now we're going to go to Sonny Caesar on the weather. He's recovered from his latest tantrum.
Yeah, I think he's wiping up his final tears, maybe.
He found out that there was an actual way to look at the weather and predict it, and that was also really devastating for him. That had something to do with our hiatus, but he's going to give us a real look at the weather today. Sonny Caesar, back in action. We'll be back in a minute on the Duder and Jimmy Hour.
Hi Duder, hi Jimmy, this is Sonny Caesar here giving you today's forecast and throughout the rest of the 7 days. So today we're going to see thunderstorms around the Toledo area. It's going to be a bit of a wet one, so make sure you grab your umbrella. We're going to see thunderstorms coming in from the west side, heading eastward, northward, with winds about 9 miles per hour heading north-northwest. So it's going to be a bit of a rainy day, so make sure you're cautious about that when you're stepping into your car. Looking towards the next and the rest of the weekend, we're going to see mostly partly cloudy skies. Now, Duder, I know you do have your marching band camp going on throughout the week, so make sure that your students bring their water bottles and make sure to stay hydrated throughout the rest of the week because it's going to be a little hot, roughly into 80 degrees, going into as high as maybe 86, so make sure you stay hydrated because it's going to be a doozy. Now, looking on to Sunday, where people are going to go on their various activities, baseball, football, and whatnot, it's going to be as high as 92 degrees Fahrenheit, winds roughly in the 9 to 10 miles per hour range heading north-northwest, so it's going to be a hot one. You might want to bring your straw hat, maybe, bring a couple vanilla Cokes while you're on the way, because, Duder, I know you love your vanilla Cokes. Alright, that's my forecast. Back to you, Duder and Jimmy.
Sonny Caesar for that very insightful update.
He really seems to know his weather.
He really does. It's very impressive how he can predict the atmosphere and whatnot.
Oh, Sonny Caesar, we're trying to give you praise. Don't cry.
Sonny, it's
we're
okay.
being genuine.
You did fine, Sonny. Don't start crying, Sonny. Oh, he's leaving. Oh, he's running out the door. Oh, it's a shame.
Well,
We'll send an intern after him.
he's such a good weatherman. Not really. Oh boy, Sonny Caesar, you gotta feel bad for him, but
You got to, but it's fun to laugh. We laugh with him.
we laugh with him.
We laugh with him.
Exactly. All right, we're gonna talk about what we ate.
My personal favorite segment.
And the
Looks like we got some technical difficulties going on in the sound room. Sorry, folks. It is a new studio, so we're still working out the kinks a little bit. Looks like our team we got about a dozen new technicians working in the sound room, and there must have been a mix-up somewhere. We'll carry on.
yeah. So what'd you have to eat, Duder?
Well, I was at the Rib-Off yesterday, so I had some ribs, I had
the Rib-Off.
some pulled pork, some coleslaw, and cornbread. Man, was it delicious.
Can you elaborate on the taste that you experienced?
The taste, I personally went with the less spicy, more savory barbecue sauce, because as you know, I have a very low tolerance for spice.
Yeah, you're adverse to that.
I am adverse. So I thought it was delicious. It was very sweet, and the tenderness of the meat is what really got me. That was exactly my thinking as soon as I took the first bite of the rib.
Duder, do you know who composed that piece?
No, I don't.
I don't either. I had some. I didn't go to the Rib-Off. I wish I would have made it there, but I actually had some pork chops. As you recall, your nickname was Pork Chop for a while back in high school.
I don't want to talk about those days.
Well,
those days are well behind me.
You're right, but I mean,
were you T-Bone?
I was
T-Bone. I was Pork Chop. We don't talk about. Jimmy and I used to be in a very, very rough gang back in high school, where he was known as T-Bone and I was known as Pork Chop. We don't talk about those days. We've reformed our lives since then.
It's glad to be out of that place.
Very, very glad.
I'll tell you what, the influence that we had in there was just devastating.
Devastating.
Could not have been any worse. But I had some pork chops, and they were pretty good.
Did you have any sides, any mashed potatoes or peas?
Yeah.
Or what did you have?
Actually,
what was it garnished with?
I had some Brussels sprouts.
Oh, really?
A controversial take.
You know what? I have never eaten Brussels sprouts.
Are you kidding me?
In my life, never once.
Well, you're going to have to stop by the Park House because my dad caramelizes the Brussels sprouts and serves them with bacon. And
well,
it's just,
you know what?
It's a delight. It's a delight.
I could caramelize my shoe and serve it with bacon and it would still taste good.
Well, then maybe you'll have to try his Brussels sprouts.
I'd say so.
All right, Duder. Joke time. What do you got?
I got the cue to you to tell a joke.
Oh, that's great. Well, I'm looking at my notes here, and it said that you have been preparing a joke over the course of the last year.
You know, I was, and I had it all saved away in my computer file, and it was the best joke ever, but then my computer crashed, and it just went away. So we thought we'd rely on your wit and ingenuity to make up a joke on the spot right now.
Okay. I'll think of something here. Oh, looks like we're getting something from
the studio there. From the studio audience, is that what we're seeing? Or?
Well, I got a quick one here.
Oh.
What do you do with a year's worth of used condoms?
What?
You melt them down, turn them into a tire, and call it a good year.
Oh man,
Gibson, but how are you gonna make a tire out of just one condom?
Well, it's a lot of condoms. I use pretty big condoms, you know.
Okay, Gibson. Well, I have a question. Did you sell condoms at the Gibson Emporium? At the Gibson Emporium of everything? What ended up happening with that?
Well, you see, I decided to start dealing in portable fireplaces, and my whole emporium burned down. And since I had all of my money wrapped up in my stock, I went bankrupt. So that's the story on that.
Well, that's just a shame. I mean, the Gibson's Emporium has been our most loyal sponsor for years and years and years, and it's just too bad. You know, those fireplaces are gonna be a messy business.
Yeah.
Well, out of the goodness of their heart, the studio, after I've sponsored them for so long, decided to give me a job to help me get back on my feet. So maybe someday Gibson will have a second emporium.
Did we not tell Gibson he's getting laid off yet?
What?
Oh.
We'll
talk about that.
We'll talk about that later.
We'll have a meeting in our office after the show, Gibson.
Yeah. Dave, now that you've made it back to the studio, do you have any jokes for us?
Dave, how was that bike ride back to the studio?
Guys, thanks.
Dave, you should really stop smoking and riding your bike at the same time.
Your face was pretty red during that report, but now I think I know why they call you the Beat, or why I gave you that nickname.
I got nothing.
All right, so we have the one joke from Gibson. That's about it for joke time. But if you have any jokes write them on our Facebook page. You can like us on Facebook.
Like us. Come on,
the
like
Duder
us.
and Jimmy Hour. Like us on Facebook.
We like you.
Yeah, we like you. Like us. Write some jokes on our Facebook wall, and we'll tell them on the air, and we'll give you a shout out too.
And if you don't have a joke, just give us a blatant insult of Dave Ellett, and we'll be happy to make sure that is broadcast to thousands of listeners. That's all we've got for today's show.
Thanks for tuning in.
We'll be back next time. I'm Jimmy.
This is Duder.
We'll see ya.